This week on Rockstar Superhero. There's an odd thing that happens in the music business, and particularly in the world of heavy metal. People just love to categorize bands. In fact, they love to do it so much that every band in history despises the question. But guys like me, well, we have to ask it, because how else can we turn our listeners on to a new thing we've discovered? Listeners love to think they are open-minded, but secretly they are looking to hear what they like and are rarely open to new sounds or ideas. Stormbound is not lumped into any genre, even though they are often compared to symphonic or power metal bands. Stormbound has its own thing, and I would guarantee you're gonna love it. That's why you're here, right? So let's just jump right in and play. Hailing from Israel, this is the fascinating Stormbound, and this is your favorite podcast, Rockstar Superhero. I feel very, very fortunate to be meeting you today, and I just think Stormbound is an extraordinary unit, and again, it's my honor to have you guys here.
Thank you.
We are thrilled to hear this, and we're honored at least as much.
That's very kind. Do you do a lot of interviews with American press?
Lately, yeah. Lately,
Good.
There's a lot of it. Either American press or European press. We have someone from England tomorrow, then we have Belgium, then we have Germany, and on Saturday we have another two. I'm not sure what country they're from.
Wow. Well, it's nice to know you're starting to get the notices. I think it's obviously crucial for a band like yours to be seen outside of the region, right? But I mean, you're so talented. There's no reason people wouldn't discover you eventually.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, I always have to ask some basic questions, mostly because my audience doesn't necessarily know you guys. And, you know, I like to introduce them to incredible acts I discover myself. And you guys have been around for a while, but you just recently prepping this new album to come out here next month, right? And you know,
we're brand new.
Yeah. But you guys have been around for 6-7 years, sort of in the local scene, correct?
Not exactly. We're playing together for many years, but we didn't do anything. We were just writing the album and then recording. We were playing the local scene, and it's been going great. And but this is we're kind of brand new, and nobody knows about just yet. I just told my mom that I'm in a band. Okay, so
that's great, Ofer. Yeah, I'm sure she's known forever. You know, as you grow up at home and all the practicing. I would love to actually know a little bit about that. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds here, but I would love to know, how did the band connect? How did you all, form? Why did you put Stormbound together? I don't know who wants to start telling that story, but
You can tell the story because
I'm one of the two founding members of the band.
Gotcha.
The other one is Pavel, our bass player, and I put out an ad on Facebook that I was looking for a band. And after a long while, I didn't get to play in one. And then I joined him. I joined the remainders of a previous band that its name was December. The band was called December.
Interesting.
And then all the others started adding around. So my wife joined the band, and then we have Yuval. His audition was like 3 minutes. We started playing one song, and then it was boom.
Yeah.
This is the guy.
Yeah.
And after all that, we had a different singer. And after that, our keyboardist Rotem joined in. And after that, we got Yael, which is an outstanding vocalist.
Yes. Yes.
And and this is how it all came to be. It took about 2 or 3 years until we got this current lineup.
It's definitely what I would call the historic lineup, right? It's the one that's finally getting all the attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what, Yuval, I have to say this too, as a drummer myself. Yes, it's true that the best guys, they come in, sit down, and everybody knows right away that you're the guy. Did you feel the same way about the band? Were you just excited to be a part?
Yeah, I think it's like, when you sit down with people that can actually play and you start, eye contact and feeling the other players, it just... When you lock in, then you lock in.
Yeah.
I think it's also worth mentioning that he was only 15 years old.
What?
And it was very surprising to see someone play like that.
I had no idea. Are you serious?
Yeah.
I just celebrated 22 like a week ago, actually.
Oh my God! Wow. Okay. Fantastic.
I remember Pavel. We had 2 drummers auditioning that day. And I remember Pavel texting me, I got 2 guys auditioning today. The first one is a more experienced one and stuff like that. And then there's this 15-year-old kid that he nagged me. So I said, all right, I'll let him come. And then the first guy wasn't very good. I mean, we said, we're going to play that song now. And he played a different song. And he didn't even realize that. So that guy was out of the question like real quick. And then Yuval came in, and I said, all right, let's see what this kid's got, but we'll get on with it pretty soon, I guess. And then like 2 minutes into the song, I felt, all right.
Yeah. Talent is talent. Being prepared for the right moment at the right time, right? But there's no luck involved. You were just pure and ready to be there. So congrats. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, so, Shani and Ofer, you two are married. And you make no bones about it. It's a public thing. Everybody knows about it. How I imagine the dynamics have to be difficult. I used to be a performing musician, and I remember many of the bands I was in were very sexist. And I mean this in a nice way, but they were very sexist. And they would refuse to have women members in the band. And I always thought that was the silliest thing, because I was always looking to have a band that had a really diverse lineup that felt like it reached across the lines and caught everybody. It wasn't just a guy thing, And I've heard through the grapevine that audiences love you so much that there's this kind of running joke that Shani might be the superior guitar player.
Because she is.
That's so great. I love it. So how do you guys handle being married in a band together? Because I would think that would be hard.
We argue sometimes.
Of course.
But generally, it's a lot of fun. First of all, that we have the same passion. And we both musicians and love metal. And I mean, I also play in another band without Ofer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very fun to have my husband beside me in a band. And I guess in the future when we will also tour together, it will be even better.
Well, sure. One less room you have to worry about too.
It's great for me as well because I'm not like when I was young, like way younger than today. I was in a punk band, and that was like this was like a real guy thing, and we would do all the stupid like drinking and going out and partying and girls and stuff like that. But I really love my wife, and we've been together for 10 years.
Congrats.
And this is why I like being in a band with her. And I think that we're playing. I quick. Oh wait, that's our dogs going crazy.
And your dogs are happy too.
Yes.
Oh, cool. Keep going.
About what you said about the whole sexy thing, I don't think it's really like. I think it's pretty stupid.
I do agree.
If you're a good player, then what does it have to do with either you're a boy or a girl? I don't think it's.
Yeah. I say as a woman, like usually people that can actually play and they're really good musicians, they don't care about. They care if you're a good musician, and maybe if someone cares about whether I'm a woman or a man, maybe it says something about other things.
Yeah.
Other insecurities.
For sure. No, I mean, I think it's, I don't want to make this a thing because I know it can come off offensive, but I think, I agree. I think it's the weirdest, dumbest thing. People are people, man. We have loves and passions and talents, and there's no such thing as a guy is better at anything. If anything, women tend to blow us out of the water because they're more focused, more driven, more direct, right? I mean, I'm sure you guys feel that too. So there's a reason Shani's the killer in the band, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that we met when Shani was my student, right? I'm a music teacher and a guitar teacher, and I own a school of music.
Wow.
Shani was my student many years ago, and after that she became a teacher in my school. And after that, and only after that we became a couple. Like only after a few years of working together. This was not by any means love at first sight. But we have the best relationship of most of the couples that I know.
Yeah. No, it's awesome because it's pure, right? You develop that friendship and you develop that respect as an artist. And then eventually, in your case, you fell in love, and you fell in love for the right reasons, and that's what matters. So congratulations to you guys. You guys, and clearly you make an awesome pair as musicians, because the band is really, really something.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I think, and this is why I'm very tolerant to the fact that she outshreds me.
Well, so was your intention as a group? Were you always intending to be a symphonic metal band? You know, to have that sort of that structure and that sound, that genre. Was that your focus from the beginning?
I don't think it was like we wrote some songs and we experimented with a bunch of things, and I think in the pre-production we were like, okay, then we can add this and then this and this, and eventually it became like, okay, then maybe we're kind of like a symphonic band.
Yeah,
it just kind of went there naturally.
I never heard of the term symphonic metal before people said it about us, because even though that as in this album I was like maybe the driving force behind the music, but I rarely ever listened to Nightwish. I never heard Epica. I know about them, but I never listened to them before we opened for them. You know, that they played in Tel Aviv and we opened for them.
Right.
But until then, I never knew anything about their music. And it's not because I don't like it. Now I think it's awesome, but I didn't even hear the term. And it's a weird term for me because we're not playing symphonies, we're playing songs.
Right.
It's because of the sound that is like orchestral or maybe something like that.
Right. Yeah.
But I think that we do a lot of things that are like prog, or some things sound like maybe hard rock or stuff like that. And some things sound very heavy with the growling and stuff like that. Right. And so I don't think that we would be your typical straight up symphonic metal band.
Well, no, and I don't necessarily think you are either. However, it seems that in metal in general, the idea of pinpointing a band into a subgenre is required.
Yes, people really tend to do this all the time.
Yes.
We need to have a title.
You have to have a title, right? That's the thing.
That's what they sound like, and it's never you sound like you sound like somebody. They have to say you sound like Nightwish or Epica, and that's usually only because of visuals, because their brain says they have women, so they must sound the same, and they don't at all.
Yeah.
Yes, we get that all the time. People say stuff like they sound like this band or that band, and then I never heard of that band. Some people tend to compare us to bands that I never heard before, and I listen to that, and it doesn't sound anything like this. The singing is not anything in common, and the playing is different, and the writing is different. But like the metal guys really love that categorization, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess it's happened to all the bands.
Yeah, it does. And I think it's because I wouldn't consider myself traditional press. I mean, this is a podcast. I'm not a music magazine, etc. But, magazines have to, really, they have to categorize because, well, that's their job. It's their job to put you, in this vertical and to give the reader, not the listener, but the reader, a chance to sort of understand what the band might be like, I think is the key. So it's just, I think it's just really old, bad habits that the press does, Yeah. Well, so you guys recently played with Epica. I don't know how much of that was a dream gig for you guys, or if it was just another.
Some of us in the band really are big fans of Epica.
Okay, so it's not just Ofer's fault.
Yeah.
So what did you learn from that experience about your own band?
First of all, it was a really great experience because we play in one of the biggest and most famous venues in Tel Aviv, and in front of a lot of people. And we also met the band, and it was really fun.
I saw pictures.
Yeah.
It was very big for Yael as well because she's a massive fan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And even though I'm not, I had a very good time, and we got to meet the band, and I did. It doesn't think that I don't think anything bad about them. I think they're a great band.
You're never going to open for them ever again, though.
No, they're great people, and they're a great band. It's just that it never was my. I don't think it's my taste in music. It's just that it is. But after playing with them, there are some songs that I can relate to right now. And I think they're awesome musicians. They're great players, and the singing is phenomenal.
Yeah. You can definitely see why they're really well known. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I prefer Yael's voice over Simone's, though. And I don't say that to, I imagine you'll tell her I said this, but I don't say that to embarrass her or to even compare her to Simone, but I think it's just her voice is so much more exciting tonally. It's not as, and this sounds awful, but I'm trying to explain. It's not as refined or pretty. It's more ferocious, more fierce. And I think that's what makes Stormbound so exceptional, because you take that voice and you collide it with these incredible drums and then these super heavy guitars, and that sound, although similar, in genre to the other bands we've been mentioning, I think that's what sets Stormbound apart. And I think it's a matter of a very short time before you're playing the big stages all over Europe. I really do.
Hopefully.
I say that prayer every night.
So Yuval, do you see power metal or this type of music being a more visually driven genre? Like, are you required as a drummer to sit back there and have fire exploding and spinning your sticks, or is it more of a focused type of music where you've got your head down and you're just playing?
There are times that I think I have more room to perform, but mostly I don't really like to do like all the fireworks and the stick tricks. I think that if you're a good performer, you can perform and actually play at the same time. You don't need to draw much attention. But I try in shows mostly to actually get the parts right than actually, showing off, if it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I appreciate that. I prefer that as a drummer myself. So that's probably why I like you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But I'm trying not to get caught up in my small, tom and cymbal world. I try to communicate a lot with my audience, eye contact and stuff with the band members. You gotta perform, but not overdo it, I think.
Yeah. So true. If I can, Ofer, I'd like to actually ask you about December, and not the band, but the new album. That's coming soon, right? August 5th, I think?
Yeah.
Okay. So does the album have a overarching theme? When you put this together, did you have a certain musical image or lyric that, makes the album about a certain thing or feel a certain way?
It has a certain, I would say, a social statement that is in there, but it's not like an entire album that has a certain concept. It's just it just came out that way. And there are some songs in the album that are on personal issues, right? Like romantic issues or whatever, things that you go through in life, and like issues that you have with yourself, with your family, or with your surroundings. Okay, and these are songs like Child's Play, the one that we just put out, and Desert's Roar, and other than that, we have songs that are they say that they have a social meaning to it. The most powerful one, I think, is December, because what we are trying to do in there is to describe the massive disaster that is coming over humanity. Okay, that if we keep going the way we do. If we keep eating the way we eat, if we keep dressing the way we dress, if we keep driving the way we do, and if we will keep tearing this planet apart. And this song it kind of describes the revenge. And December is this vengeful monster that we have on the cover of the album. And this is the monster, is the representative of the powers of nature that will whoop our butt and throw us out of here, and humanity will be gone. Yeah. And at the end of the song, there is this like quiet part where the world wakes up into a new world without humans that do everything they can to destroy it because they're egocentric.
Right. Yeah, we are a virus, that's for sure. And I don't mean that in some
virus.
Right. We just don't care. It's always about us. I notice this every time I leave to the grocery store. There's always somebody who is trying to get out of the parking lot before you because they think they have somewhere more important to go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's human nature that we are always battling to be first, or to take something quicker, or to to kill the animal first. It's always something. We're awful people.
Yeah, we're an awful species.
Yes.
All right. Some people are nicer to each other. Some people are less nice, right? But we, as a species, are evil towards the planet, not only towards animals. And obviously, we're very evil towards animals.
Right.
And this is a thing that I care about a lot. All right. And it made me write lyrics about this. Mm-hmm. And the music kind of is dramatic and has this like big parts and stuff like that, and has orchestration, and it goes together.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I've heard the whole album. I have whatever the promo company sent me, but what I have, I love, and I think it's very powerful. And typically, as people who listen to my show know, I rarely listen to lyrics. I'm always, as a drummer, I think it's natural to listen to the rhythms and arrangements and whatnot, but listening to the songs, they have a powerful story to tell. And I mean, I kind of knew the answer already before I asked, but that's why I wanted you to share a little bit of the story behind the album, because even though I think it's common to feel upset with the direction of our world, I don't think very many people are saying anything positive about what we could do if we try. And I like that you guys are sticking your necks out right off the bat. I think that's really great.
Yeah, this is something that is important to both of us.
Yeah. Probably to all of you, right?
Yeah, but some more than others.
Sure. Well, that makes sense. So you know, as a songwriter, do you all write songs, Ofer, or are you
Everyone?
Okay. So everybody contributes. So how do you figure out what makes the albums? Is it just a matter of lots of rehearsal and lots of arrangement until somebody just finally says these make more sense?
Yes, kind of. This is the main reason why it took so long,
Right.
I think. Because the writing process is we actually rehearse together and write music this way. Some of the music, not all the songs were written this way, but some of them did. And we also had a long process which we worked with the producer with songs. So it went through a lot of processes until this album came out.
We're writing together, and this makes the process a bit more interesting. Sometimes a bit feisty, but we're cool, and we learn to accept different ideas. And sometimes we would just vote on something, but at a certain point, we put something together. And then everybody says, all right, that's the way it should go.
Gotcha. So your songwriting process is fairly democratic, but you're also, typically somebody usually in the band has a little more say, or is the one who sort of takes the reins and says, but this is where we stop, right?
Maybe.
That's hard. Yeah. You know, it's hard to leave it fully democratic because you're not going to always be on the same page regarding vision, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but we were lucky enough to have this album demonstrating like all six of us have their vision in it in one way or another. It's not that anything that anyone suggests get in, but we tend to agree on things. We don't think very differently about how we want our music done. And we are very grateful for this, because I used to play in bands where there was, where I used to clash with other guys in the band because we had different visions about different things. And that would cause a lot of trouble.
It makes sense, though. I think it's the difference between writing a song that stands alone and creating a world for an album, right? And a big theme, if you will. That's hard. Do you like the process of this? Do you like, or is it more about the end? You just like knowing you've created it, it's over, and now you can move on?
I don't think it actually ever ends, because once you're done with an album, we all experienced it like very recently. Once you're done with the album, you're starting to perform a lot. You're starting promotions. You're starting a lot of points. But every step of the way, there's a challenge. There's a challenge to write stuff. Then there's a challenge to actually arrange it. then to record it, then you might find some mistakes, then you need to advertise it, and it's just a never-ending cycle.
Yeah, yeah.
I like writing more than everything. What I found out lately is that when songs started to come out and we started doing shows, and for the first time we started seeing many people singing the lyrics along, and we found that we started having like a certain like a fair amount of following.
Right.
And I thought this would be the best moment of my life. And for some reason, I like the writing a lot better. If you compare, there's two things you compare, right? Is
Right.
when you're playing a concert and you see that people like your music,
Right.
and you want to take photos with you, and they want you to sign stuff and all that. And after that, this is one thing. The other thing that makes a musician really happy is when you're out the rehearsal, the rehearsal's over, and you go home and you go, we got this one massive new piece that we wrote today. I'm loving it. All right. So I'm more of the second thing. I really like that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting because being a musician, and I'm going to use my own experience here, but being a musician, I think, is one of the greatest and worst things ever, because it's like we have all of this in us. It's music, and it's ideas, and it's themes, and then there's this crazy in us that makes us want to create that we can't. It's almost like we can't control it.
Yeah.
But then, yes, as we create songs, our hope is that we can be satisfied as musicians, and that our audience listens to us and says, I want more of that. And finding that sweet spot isn't always easy. Do you ever feel as though, what's the word I'm thinking? But, there's a lot of people who feel like they are pretending, that they're not really exceptional. The feeling that they don't belong on stage, that they're not qualified, and I'm curious if that ever affects you. Do you feel really confident, or do you feel like sometimes you don't belong?
You feel confident.
No, actually, I had that for many years, especially when I was in my punk years.
Yeah, imposter syndrome. Yeah. Because
I thought that I'm just making a mess and having a lot of fun, and I thought this is not musicianship. Okay, this is the thing that went through my mind, is that we're pretending to be musicians, but we're here just to make fun, right? To do all the gigs and going out and stuff like that. And you kind of think, as it goes along, you think, can I really write good music, right? Can I really come up with something good? Mm-hmm. Is my guitar playing is really all that, okay? All right?
Yeah.
Can I do anything? Can I write a song that will stay years after I'm gone, or at the very least, get some appreciation outside of the local scene, right? Mm. And this is the hardest question. And then when you read people write nice stuff about Stormbound and telling us nice things about our album, this is the kind of validation that you want to get, right?
Right.
So,
yeah.
So that's the kind of validation that I've been getting recently because of that album, and I'm thrilled with that. And at the same time, you go, I still haven't written my best chorus yet. I know I have deep inside. I know that I have my next great riff, or my next great chord progression, or the next like this punch of a chord. I don't know.
So, and we also can't be as talented as Shani either, right? Not all of us we're just not that good.
We're just not that fast. Yeah.
We're not shredders at life.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, so then I guess the question is, and I'd love for each of your responses here. So maybe I'll start with Yuval. But is being a musician a passion? Is it a blessing? Is it a curse? Is it madness? Like how do you feel about music as a performer now that you're at this place in your life? How about you, Yuval?
I think that music is just my way to actually live. I don't see myself doing anything else. Right now, I'm starting to do some session work, and I teach at Ofer school, and
Awesome.
I teach at some other schools and private lessons and stuff. And I don't see myself doing anything else but that, because I produce on the side some stuff, and that's all I do every day, all day. I don't do anything else. And it started off as a curse because I'm coming from a family that is all like program engineers and tech stuff and all the stuff that I can do and I try to do, but
Right.
I can't. And it started off like maybe I have a problem. I don't know. I don't want to do it.
Right.
And in the end, I just embraced it. That this is who I am. This is what I love to do, and this is what I'm good at. And my parents learned to accept it, and now they more than accept it. They're happy that they actually let me go the way that I wanted to go.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think you could have made it too had you not been created. When I think of this, I think of like how we're formed in our mother's womb with these sets of skills, whether it's through DNA or download from heaven or whatever, but we're built a certain way. And I think the great parent, like you mentioned a second ago, your parents recognize that you have this skill that they don't have, and that the only way you're truly happy is if you're creating. And in your case, being an exceptional drummer. So I'm just really happy for you that you've embraced your passion,
Thank you. And in some way, I think that I actually combined the two, because I do a lot of technical writing and stuff, because I do have the technical side. I did learn some programming and computer stuff, and I engineer music. So I kind of did turn out to be in the more technical side, but in my field.
Sure. Shani or Ofer, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like Yuval. Even though I'm not working in music, I can't imagine my life without creating. And basically, my free time is all play, either practice guitar, writing stuff for me, for my other band, maybe for Stormbound, and this is my biggest passion in life.
That's great.
Shani is a dual career person. She's like Shani's about to be a doctor of cognitive psychology.
Wow! Congratulations.
And she's like Brian May.
I can see how proud you are of her as well.
Yeah,
a big smile on your face.
and Greg Gruffin from Bad Religion. You know he is, right?
Yep. All these brilliant guys.
He's a professor as well.
Yeah.
And I really like Bad Religion. And
yeah, that's awesome. Well, so, I guess maybe my last question to you guys would be, the band is clearly making waves, and it's breaking out. And I don't know how that feels in Israel, meaning I don't know what it's been like locally. But now that things are starting to happen internationally, what are your hopes for the band, that you're worthy of being remembered? Because I certainly think you are.
Thank you. We are the next thing we're going to work on two things right now. First thing that we're doing right now, like management wise, is working our way to for a tour.
Nice.
Right?
Good.
For touring. First, we start with Europe, but so like a European tour. And the second thing is that we're writing the second album, we already have tons of ideas, and some of the stuff are making nice progress. And that's the way. This is where things are going right now. And I can tell you what you said about how it feels in Israel, in the local scene, is that a few weeks ago we had like our own headline concert after opening for Epica. And that concert was great. The house was full, and we sold many T-shirts and CDs. And you see many people who know the lyrics for the songs, and none of them are any of our friends. So it wasn't my mom, right? It wasn't.
Right. It wasn't other bands.
Yes. Yes, it wasn't the other bands as well. There were genuine audience, like genuine members of the crowd, right? And that was amazing for us.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I'm so happy. I feel the reason I couldn't wait to talk to you guys today is simply because I love the music. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And it is such a great joy because I really believe that there's going to be a moment, and it's not going to take too long, where you guys break out internationally in a real significant way. And I really believe this is going to happen because you've stuck together, and you have the secret sauce now, right? It takes that collision of the right members to make that overarching sound that you have that's complete and it's original to you. And I love the idea that about a year or maybe 2 years from now, I think it's going to be faster. But I love the idea that 2 years from now, somebody's on YouTube and they're typing, tell me more about this band, and they find this interview because I was on the cutting edge, man. Yeah. So I just love, I don't feel like I'm breaking you, but I do love the fact that you've allowed me to be a part of your rollout, and so thank you so much. I'm really excited for the band.
Thank you.
I love the new record.
These are the most kind words. Thank you very much.
I hope to someday feel the pain and start to heal. The storm will rage inside me, and hate will